Ladies and gentlemen, Bungle. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day. If you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Bungle. I like to do whiteboard presentations talking about Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter. Now, the question we're going to ask today, and it's kind of a big controversy last time on the last video I uploaded talking about kind of the current problems in Enlisted. And there was a bunch of just nasty grams, mashing the dislike button, Bungle, never make another YouTube video ever again. Well, kind of gonna go hit home on one of the issues that I brought up with Enlisted, and the question is does cheating exist? And I'm going to tell you today, I'm probably the first one to say it. Yes, it does. And I'm going to have the video up in the left-hand corner here talking about it. And you may be wondering, okay, what's this big issue with it, Bungle? What's going on with cheating? Well, right now the stance of mostly, if you look at the Enlisted forum, the developers and the moderators, they shut it down right away. It's kind of a it doesn't exist approach, right? And kind of the issue, why I'm talking about this is, Enlisted is a good game, right? It is a great alternative to Battlefield 5. For a free-to-play game, it really gives a run for its money for Battlefield 5, Postscriptum, etc., right? It's a really good World War II free-to-play first-person shooter. But at the same time, right, if you got rampant cheating going on, and you may be like, Bungle, doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, Bungle, it doesn't exist. Well, I mean, look up right there. Like, you got people uploading videos every day with their cheat engines or whatever, what they're using. You got people commenting in those videos saying, thanks for it. I've been using it, it's helping me out a lot, stuff like that, right? And, if you watch my videos, you're a sub or new viewer, etc., right? I'm not your type of average Joe Schmo player. I would not like to say that, right? Because if you look at my videos, my reviews I've done for premium squads, etc., my gameplay, I put in the results of how I do at the end of the match. And 90% of the time in those videos, I'm finishing top of my team. And I don't cherry pick gameplay either. Like, I generally finish top 20%, if not top of my team. So there's that as well, right? And I'm kind of bringing this to attention because it's an issue, it exists, it's prevalent, and hopefully, this can be something that someone from Enlisted watches, a developer, dev, or someone can take it into consideration that this is what's going on. And we're going to talk about the consequences of this, right? One is going to ruin retention, right? And we're also going to talk about how it's unfair. If you're trying to play fair, just playing the base game, and you're getting, just killed, sniped through walls, people can see what you're doing, like, what's the point of playing? Lastly, the benefit of having ban list and kind of lessons we can learn from other games. So starting off right away, we're talking about ruining the retention. And basically, who wants to play against cheaters? You remember back in the day, Call of Duty, you play Call of Duty World at War, you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Remember the hacker lobbies, the JTAG of the Xbox? Remember playing Modern Warfare 2 when the hackers would send a message out, $20 Microsoft points or whatever, and Microsoft uses those point things, right? Get prestige, right? Like, is that going to be a thing in Enlisted? $20, max the campaign level, right? Stuff like that. Like, who wants to play against people that are cheating the game, using stuff that most players don't have access to kind of just, like I said, aimbots, seeing through walls, stuff like that? How is that fair? Who wants to play against that? And if you played like those games back on the console, like, no one really wants to play them anymore because you've got people running around with hacks. Who wants to play modded lobbies, stuff like that, right? And that's the thing. If you see, let's say, World at War right now on Steam, there's specific lobbies set up with cheat systems in place to prevent people like that from joining. And those that don't, if you try to play those lobbies, you realize you're not having a good time because you're just getting killed all over the place by this hacker, right? And we're not talking about hacks like flying around God mode. At least I hope not yet. But right now we're talking about kind of aim assist. We're talking about, seeing through walls, stuff like that, which still is unfair because it gives you a clear advantage of what your enemy's trying to do. So unfair, right? Talking about unfair. Why is it unfair? Well, you can see through this video contemplation here going up here with, all this stuff that, these hackers are posting every day, encouraging people to go check it out. And then one comment, someone's trying to say, well, we should keep this hidden. And the thing is with the developers and, even as a community, right? I got it that there was a big controversy with me talking about those problems in Enlisted, but, I'm not going to be that type of content creator that comes out and be like, well, everything's great and Enlisted and plug my ears in and, think everything's fine. No, we can't be an echo chamber, right? For me as a content creator too, it's especially important to get feedback, whether negative, positive, etc., right? I take into consideration what you've seen with many of my videos. And the thing is that I don't feel as a community we should shun away and just say, oh, this is a great game, right? You know, player retention, stuff like that is important. And for games like this, especially that are starting off to succeed, look at Armored Warfare. Armored Warfare had a lot of potential and it fell flat in its face, and that game's still a skeleton to this day, right? So we don't want this to happen to Enlisted, right? Because, you know, you're passionate about it, I'm passionate about it. But, you know, being an echo chamber approach, you know, trying to say, you know, this game's great, blah, 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 no problems with it. Like, no, I'm going to, you know, call out issues. And, you know, the big thing I'm talking about this because I've been playing Berlin and it's been rampant cheating with the just seeing through the walls X-ray aimbots. But, like, a great example is if you're in a building, you're walking out and someone's behind, like, knows you're just right there. You're like, how the heck do you know this? Like, how the heck do you know I'm in there? Like, really? Like, that's the thing is it's just insane, I would say, because I played closed beta tests for it and seeing how it was with everything, you know, compared to now is a totally different, like, ballpark. And like I said, we got people shooting through walls, killing you. We got people knowing where you're going, like stuff like that. And it's just like, I've never seen that when I was playing closed beta. And same with playing normie, the type of experiences that I'm having with it is nowhere near the same. And it's just, you know, it raises an eyebrow. I raise an eyebrow. I'm like, this is not legit. There's a lot of kills, people killing me. Same person over and over and over again. An MG34 without recoil, MG42 without recoil, right? Not a sandbag. I'm not saying up as an engineer, but running around with it, just mowing people down with no recoil. You're like, what the heck is going on? That's not how that weapon works. Because if you play the weapon, you would know that it does kick. It kicks like a mule sometimes. So you have to be careful. Usually you have to be in the prone or kind of, you know, mounted somewhere so at least it doesn't recoil as much. So there's that, right? You know, and it's kind of an issue. It's prevalent. Like I said, my video contemplation here of everyone promoting their hacks and cheats. You got people commenting saying, oh, this is great. Thanks for it. And stuff like that. Like, it's not helpful to a community, especially if we're going to plug our ears and, you know, try to say, chastise those who try to bring it up, that it does exist or pretend it doesn't exist, because it does exist. It does exist. Cheating isn't in this game. And, you know, what we need to do is find ways to counter it. And one way of doing it is a ban list, right? We play wargaming, play War Thunder. War Thunder used to do it. It was published a monthly ban list of usernames that have been banned, right? And the reason why that's important is because you got the community forum, you got the list, you got the Reddit, etc., right? We got people posting, this guy's doing this all over again, right? This one person or a group of people are causing these issues. A ban list kind of gives public awareness or faith in the community that, hey, you know, Enlisted actually took care of this guy or got rid of him, right? Because this person was causing a lot of issues. So stuff like that, putting public awareness in, like kind of like what Wargaming did too with, I think, World of Tanks. They had a system in place where it would detect any like program or something like that. Like Warpack, I think was one of the cheats or whatever in World of Tanks to make yourself, you know, better at the game. You know, Wargaming had a system in place to detect it, and if it saw you had it, then it would ban you, right? So stuff like that's kind of important. And the fact that, you know, public awareness and kind of faith in the game is that right now, playing Berlin, like for example, I'm not a fan of it because, you know, I don't feel it's an even playing field. It really isn't. And you can say, yeah, the Soviets are strong and overpowered. That's game mechanics, right? That's game issues. If you're using something outside of the game to enhance your performance, make yourself better, then, you know, that's where I raise an issue, because how is it fair if someone's using a VG2 and just sniping people across the map left and right? Like, no problem. Like, and these are things, some of these things too, there's not high-level players doing it too. There are entry-level players using default weapons, just racking up kills left and right, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I did not recall this at all. And yeah, the issue could be like, well, bungle, it could be a bot. Yeah, the bots act certain ways, but if you see a player running around, like I said, the MG34, MG42, just, you know, mowing people down left and right, just running around sprinting with it, like, yeah, I'm gonna raise an eyebrow, because that's not how that, like, I've played MG42, MG32, or 34 or whatever, and it does not recoil like, it doesn't just shoot flat, it recoils. So that's my take on everything, right? It's kind of a big issue prevalent in this game. And, you know, you may mash the dislike button because you just hate, you know, people talking bad about Enlisted, but, you know, it's an issue. It's prevalent, right? I'm not talking to making nonsense here, because if you look it up, you search it up on YouTube, I mean, these videos are popping up every day. Every day there's someone I don't know if it's a group or whatever posting it too, because one comment was like, don't share this with most people because, you know, there's only a group of us know it exists, right? So it's out there. It's out there, and, you know, whether you like it or not, you want to deny it, you can deny it all you want, but hopefully a developer or maybe someone that can talk to enlisted devs or someone seasoned in plays, because the ways to counter this issue, like I said, would either be, you know, replay system, right? And I know I said they're working on it, but if you see Joe Schmo or Timmy running around, you know, going and killing people left and right, and it's like questionable, you kind of, you know, report that, send that in so they can take a look at it and be like, okay, yeah, that kind of looks weird. Or, you know, another thing too, you know, you can report in game, but the in-game system, you know, right click someone's username and hit complain at the end of the match for, you know, this person did this, and that, or like chat or whatever, right? So, you know, there isn't really a system in place. And that's maybe why the developers take the stance, or the, you know, moderators take the stance if it doesn't exist. And some of the members in the community takes that stance that it doesn't exist. But it does exist, right? We're seeing picture proof here of people running around. These videos are posted back like a year ago. These are pretty recent. And they're uploaded every day, with, you know, different maps, different campaigns, and them using the same exact cheats. Save your walls, etc., etc. So yeah, I want to hack. I want to hack it all. Wouldn't recommend downloading it or whatever, because it's probably filled with Bitcoin miners, viruses, etc. So don't recommend doing that at all. Just stay away from it. You know, kind of takeaways from this, right? Echo chambers and all that is kind of critical to kind of a success of a community or not, right? If we're all going to say we're good, you know, everything's great, and it's kind of a problem with Worth. You can kind of see it with some of their content creators, right? And there's, I would say, a good majority of them like to follow that path of following what one does and they all mirror it. And another thing is, you know, saying that everything's great, everything's great, everything's great, but not addressing the issues. And for the some that I follow that have, you know, a lot of times they end up just saying, you know, I'm done with this. You know, they just keep adding more content and I'm trying to fix it. I'm going to go and just take this channel and make it something else, right? Stuff like that is kind of important, seeing kind of pattern behavior, right? And hopefully it doesn't go this way with Enlisted. And, you know, I'm going to bring it up that this is an issue because it does exist and you got people actually running around using it. So, you know, if you're contemplating using something like this, I recommend not, you know, learning the game, learning the mechanics, and then going from there. But, you know, like I said, it does exist. It's prevalent in the Battle of Berlin. And I know most people don't reach this point in the video anyway, so hashtag bungle smelly socks if you even made it. Most of you probably didn't even do it anyway. I'm probably talking to myself at this point, so I should just end the video. But yeah, like, it's a big issue, and, you know, the fact that we're taking a stance of don't talk about it when it does exist is probably not the best approach. So hopefully this issue can be addressed down the road. I mean, right now it's a problem, and personally I don't like playing Berlin because I run into it all the time. I would say 90% of my games are usually there's someone doing something like that. So if you reached this point in the video, hashtag bungle smelly socks. I know most people won't, so I'm just figuring I say it anyway. Might as well be talking to myself at this point, uploading videos for myself. But yeah, unless it's not a bad game, right? But it's good as a community to kind of take that aspect away that, hey, you know, maybe there's some issues that need to be fixed, some current problems that need to be addressed, right? So having stuff like that, that type of discussion is kind of beneficial, right? And that's kind of how I am as a content creator, is that, yeah, I'll talk about the positives, but I'll also talk about some of the negatives too. I have more of a realistic approach, right? It's good to be optimistic and everything like that, but you have to be a realist with it, right? You know, like I said, Enlisted is a good game, but there are problems with it, and cheating is definitely a big issue with it. Whether you want to plug your ears in and thumbs down the video and say I'm unsubscribing and everything like that, and send me an Instagram, go ahead. But at the end of the day, right, it exists, and I've literally given you the evidence that's there that, hey, you know, this is running wild in the game, and probably the only content creator talking about it, honestly, which, you know, fine by me. But other than that, new sub, new viewer, thanks for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, returning sub, appreciate it. You matter, your content, your, comments, you know, mashing that like button helps with the YouTube algorithm, so I really do appreciate it. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. If you're having a bad day, just want to say I appreciate you stopping by, watching my video, talking, commenting down below. It means a lot to me. Other than that, take care.